Hello Stampers, Kelly Acheson at stampabove.com coming to you from Menasha, Wisconsin. Thanks so much for joining me for this video today. This is a different kind of a, well, what do I want to call this? This is, it's not really a fun fold, but how about it's just different? I think I'm going to call it a skinny center panel card because I don't know what this layout is called, but here's how it works. Isn't that neat? You've just got this little center part in here. We've got the lots of label dies on the front here. Very cool. This is a really quick and easy card. And where is this polka dot paper coming from? The Petal Passion Designer Series paper, of course. This paper is gorgeous. I absolutely love it. You guys have seen me use it for a lot of different projects. And here's those polka dots. Love them. So let's get started and I'll show you how to make one of these. So the first thing I like to do is bring in my cardstock layers. I've got a scrap of Whisper White and Basic Black. I've got a piece of Rich Razzleberry that is 6 inches long by 1, and it's scored at 4.5. Then I've got a piece of Rich Razzleberry that is 4 1/4 by 5.5. 2 pieces of the Petal Passion Designer Series paper, the polka dots, that are 1/4 inch by 5.5. And then this piece is 2 7/8 by 11, and then it's scored at 5.5. I'm going to bring in my piercing mat here so I have something to work with. We're using the beautiful Heartfelt Blooms stamp set. This is designed a special way. This is something new for Stampin' Up. What they did was they brought a bouquet into the studio and took a photograph of it and then made it into a stamp. So that's where you get the realistic look. And I have to tell you, this stamp set, I was like, oh, that's pretty. But once you stamp it, it actually made me gasp. It is so beautiful. So I'm going to use the greeting that says, sending heartfelt thoughts. I'm using a Memento ink pad, and I'm just going to stamp this on my white scrap. Oops. And then for my white and black layers, I'm using the Lots of Labels framelits. And let's see, we are going to use, I believe, this one and this one. So you get all kinds of sizes in here. And they all layer, so that's pretty cool, right? Okay, let's move this out of the way. I'll bring my Big Shot in. I've got my magnetic platform on here. I always like to use that when I'm working with the metal framelits because it holds things in place really nicely. The smaller of these two is going to go on our heartfelt greeting. Let me see if I can move this a little bit more so you can see what's going on here. And then the bigger one is going to be cut out of the Basic Black scrap. Oops, this looks just a little bit crooked. There we go. You can cut them both out at the same time, which is pretty nice, right? Here's one, and here's our white one. And now it's time to do a little stamping. I've got Rich Razzleberry ink here. And I'm going to bring in this gorgeous stamp. This comes in clear mount, which means it's red rubber that you don't mount on wood. You mount it on clear blocks, and you can take it off, so you only have to have one set of clear blocks, or wood mount. And I bought it in wood mount because, well, sometimes I get stuff in wood. When I'm doing stamping events, it takes an awful lot of blocks to put on an event. So sometimes I just order them in wood. And I really do like the wood. Okay, I want these 3 pretty like zinnia flowers to be over here in the corner. So I'm just going to stamp that. And isn't that just absolutely gorgeous? It's so real looking and so pretty. I love, love, love it. And then I'm going to do just a little different flower up here in the other corner. I just wanted to decorate my tag up a little bit because it's so stark, right? Okay, so I've got that. And then with this is just a skinny card. So we're gonna fold that on the score line. See if I can get it straight here. I'm gonna burnish it with my bone folder. And we're gonna stamp the front of this and then just a little bit on the inside. And I should have inked this up like this before. When you have bigger stamps, it's easier to leave them face up on your desk and stamp them or ink them up this way. So you can see what's going on. That's just a better way to do it. And look at that. It's just gorgeous. Like I said, every time I use this, I'm like, wow, this is so pretty. Okay, and then I'm gonna just come in here. Beautiful. This is just one of those stamps that every time I use it, it gets me because it's so pretty. Okay, and we've stamped that on this skinny panel that goes in the middle. Now, I think we're ready to put our card together. So let's do that. I'm going to find my glue. Here it is. Find my liquid glue. And I'm just going to glue this panel right in the middle of my 4 1/4 by 5-inch layer. I want to make sure I'm getting it centered nicely and that it's all the way up to the top. And then I'm going to come in and put just tiny bit of glue on these little 1/4 inch strips. And this black and white is just gonna make this whole thing pop. It's just so pretty. And the other side, this is a really easy card. You could make a ton of these. And I always like to have cards like this on hand because you really need them at a moment's notice, right? If somebody passes away or something, you know, happens to your friend that they could just really use a card that says sending heartfelt thoughts. You need those immediately. And sometimes we don't have time to go into our stamp room and make a card. So it's nice to have these on hand. Okay, now this little piece right here, we are going to take this but I think I told you the wrong dimensions. So we're gonna make that a little smaller. But what you're gonna do is with this piece right here, we're gonna glue that to the back of this panel. Okay. And then we'll cut this off a little bit. Glue your tags together. Yeah, I see right now that I stamped over my thoughts with this flower. So if you recreate this card, try to not do that because it's kind of hard to read. I'm sure it'll be okay. All right, and I just want to put this in the middle of this layer. So I'm going to put some glue right here. I'm going to center this in the middle. This is just kind of a neat little element with this tag on here. And notice I only put glue in the middle here so that I can bend this back and trim it off. You'll find the dimensions. I'll remeasure this and give you the dimensions for this so that you don't have to cut yourself. That was kind of silly, right? I just had the wrong dimensions and I apologize for that. Now, we're going to use this bow jig. If you need a bow jig, please pop me an email at, well, let me start over, at kelly@astampabove.com. My friend Denise, her husband made a bunch of these. They're ready to go out in the mail so you can get one for yourself. If you email me, I'll send your email on to her and she'll get in touch with you and get your address and you guys can finalize everything. So I just took this and I'm going to wrap it around 3 times because I want a triple bow. And then you take one of these 2 pieces and go under and over and tie it in a single knot right here, just like, you know, you tie your shoes. And we have a perfect bow every time. These bow jigs are super nice, but look at how pretty that is, that triple bow. It just kind of takes it up a few notches, I guess, is a good way to put it. We're going to use a mini glue dot for this. And Put that right on there. And then here comes our little black bow. Oh my gosh, what a pretty card, right? You know what I forgot to do? I was going to stamp some flowers on here. So let's see if we can still accomplish that without making too big of a mess. I wish this was a Facebook Live so you could go, hey Kelly, you forgot to stamp the inside. Yeah, I did. But it's not. And I'm just going to give it a little bit of floral right there. And isn't that pretty? That is absolutely stunning. So there you go. This would be a great card. I know I have somebody who just lost their dog. You know, even though it's not dog themed, it doesn't have to be. It's the thought and the effort that count. So I could send this to my friend that just lost her dog, and I'm sure she would absolutely be, you know, very grateful and touched, and it would help comfort her. It's not about me getting, oh, thank you for the card. It's about making somebody's day a little bit brighter, right? Okay, should we stamp an envelope up too? Yes, we should. Let's get an envelope stamped up so we have this all completed and ready to go in the mail. Here we go. Delicious. Ready to roll. All right, you guys, thanks so much for joining me. Don't forget, I'm on Facebook Live Sunday nights at 6 p.m. Central Time. I always have a bunch of different things to show you. I absolutely love my Facebook Lives, and you can interact with me and ask me questions, and I give away stuff. Don't forget that part. If you share my video, my Facebook Live, you get entered in a drawing, commenting on my Facebook Live, and also when you place your order, you get entered. So there's 3 ways to win prizes, and I'm giving away some great Stampin' Up! Product there. So who doesn't like free Stampin' Up! Product? I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks so much for taking a little time out of your day to spend it with me. I appreciate it. You guys have a great weekend. Bye-bye.